Europe. And we'll start with Dr. Katel. Are you ready?
Yes, Professor Dan. I'm here. So can you see my presentation slide?
Yes. Yes. You have 10 minutes. Yes, you have 10 minutes.
Thank you, Professor. And good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. My presentation is very general and it is quite brief, and then I have a lot of pictures. I hope you'll enjoy. I'm currently, I work at the College of Natural Resources, Royal University of Bhutan, and I've been in this university for the last 10 years. And thank you, organizers, for considering me as one of the speakers for this very important, very interesting summer field schools. So, as I said, I will be starting with this one. This is like much of the time people ask me when I say Bhutan. Let me just tell you that this is important because I'll be presenting on the little bit on forest resources management, forest resources use and livelihoods, and these are important. And if you just look at this is where Bhutan is, and if you are wondering where Bhutan is in between the China and India, two big countries. And then if you just look at this Bhutan, it has interesting landscape where it's very much mountainous. We do not have any plain areas, and in the southern border, it is about 100 to 80 meters above the sea level, and we go up. It is more than 7,500 meters above sea level. And Bhutan's forest is actually divided into the 4 zones. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, where 4,000 to 7,500 meters is considered as the zone 1. Different types of basically little forest and above the tree line. And zone 2 is 2,000 to 4,000 meters above the sea level, where we have mainly different types of forest, coniferous forest. So broadly forest, zone 3, that is 1,000 to 2,000 meters above sea level. And then 1,000 to about 80 meters above the sea level is the subtropical, tropical kind of climate, and we have different kinds of forest. And this forest, when we talk about forest in Bhutan, we also talk about the conservation policies, and our conservation policies is actually enshrined in the Constitution of Bhutan, where in the Constitution it says that Bhutan must have at least 60% of forest cover in all times to come. And this is basically governed by this developmental policy called Gross National Happiness Policy. It has 4 pillars. These 4 pillars are basically related to sustainable socioeconomic development, conservation of natural environment, preservation and promotion of culture and tradition, establishment of good governance. So in this context, my presentation is basically related to the conservation of the natural environment and the socioeconomic development, because it has to do with the livelihoods of the people. Now, when we talk about forest conservation in Bhutan, we have 3 phases until now. Until 1969, it used to be the traditional and customary management system, where local people used to be managing the forest by themselves. They used to make decisions based on their need, and they just pay taxes to the central government. And in after 1969, the forest was nationalized because the central government realized that there has been a lot of deforestation in the region, and the forest users were actually of different level, and rich and powerful people were actually benefited more than the poor people. So in response to this, government has actually nationalized the forests in 1969. And the current system after 1990s, basically after 2000, the government has actually again changed the absolute management from the center to the participatory forest management, which is currently in use, where when government is making decisions, they talk to people and then they try to figure out what is required, what is needed by them, and then the government makes a decision based on the requirement by the local people. And then if we just talk about the further history of the forest management is actually Bhutan started employing the fortress conservation model of the United States. So in 1969, Bhutan started establishing the protected areas, and until 2008, these, if you just see this different colored areas, these are the protected areas, and then these green areas, they are biological corridors connecting different protected areas. That is to facilitate animals and plants movement from one elevation zone to other one. And in 2008, country actually has declared more than half of his country's areas under the protected area management system. And basically, the declaration of protected area was to protect the forests. And basically, Constitution of Bhutan says that 60% should be always there as a forest cover in Bhutan. So this is one of the strategies applied so far. And until now, there are more than 70% of the land under forest cover. And this map, if you see, the red dots are the settlements, and you can see that the settlements are located inside protected areas, outside protected areas, because local people are allowed to live inside the protected areas. And this is very important because the rules and regulations sometimes which is applied in the protected areas and outside of the protected areas is different. So people who are living inside and outside would be affected a little differently. And if I just talk about how people actually manage the what is the dependency of people on forests. So if you just look at this, it's the mid-hills irrigated agricultural system where people basically they do sometimes shifting cultivation in their own land, grow some hedges and then clear cut and then burn and then do agriculture. And then they also depend so much on forest wood to construct their houses, as you see here. And as we go up higher in the higher altitude, we have highland communities, and then highland communities actually depend on the forest for livestock grazing. This you can see, these are yaks in the highland areas, and these yaks are very important. And as they get their days, ends meet by earning cash from the livestock products and by selling cheese, butter, milk, and then others. And then this is just a picture to show that how this, Bhutanese architecture, the Bhutanese houses are built where they require a lot of actually wood to construct houses. And they also require a lot of fuel wood to cook their food and then warm their houses in the winter. And what they do is in summer, they cut down the trees, they stack it and keep it for the winter so that in summer, they don't have to go again and get the firewood for firewood because in summer season, it is rainy, it is difficult. So basically, let me repeat this. What farmers do is in winter, they select the trees, cut it down, stack it, and keep it for the summer. So in summer, they will use it, and next winter, they will again go to the forest, cut down the trees, and then stack the fuel wood as the energy source for the next several months. Now, Bhutan's settlement is such that the major settlements are located along the river valleys, and they are irrigated. And then as we go a little up, they have orchard, dry land cultivation, and then the shifting cultivation. And then above that one is the pasture and the high yaks and cattle. Now, this is related to our case studies. We did one case studies in which Eastern Bhutan, where it is also the border to the national parks in Bhutan. And as you can see that these are the land use, agriculture, broadly forest, coniferous forests and water bodies. Now, these two pictures, I'm sorry for this not very clear picture, but this is very important in the sense that this area is to be, if you just look at it very carefully, there is a fencing, and then there is some landslides, soil erosion, and then the little forest. This area is inside the national park, and little above, below that region is this forest where it is located in the lower elevations. And the story is that these local people, they used to keep pure breed of yak in olden days. And then over time, as the temperature increases, as the weather becomes warmer and warmer, yak seems to become not very productive. So what they decided is that they breed this, they mix this pure breed of yak with the local cattle. And then the hybrid yak actually was, they got that. And then with the hybrid yak, that used to be little productive because that can actually withstand little heat. They can survive in more warm region, and they can actually walk a longer distance. And then this can be actually more productive and can actually fetch more income to the local people. So in that story, what they have done is that they started increasing the population of this breed hybrid cattle, and hybrid cattle in the sense the mix of the yak and the local cattle. And these local cattle actually travel more distances, so they actually went to the more lower elevations, and then in the lower elevations we found that forest is much more degraded than the other regions. And in our very interesting study, we found that there is actually, that region actually overlaps between the cattle coming from the lower elevations and this breed coming from the higher elevations. And this region actually is much more, exploited, degraded. And then what government has also done is that you can see that little huts. This hut has not the wooden roof, but the CGI sheet. This CGI sheet is actually provided by the government, assuming that the local people would not depend so much on the trees for getting roof of this in a hut, so that their dependency can be decreased. So, but then we found that the cause is very different. And then very interestingly, this is the reason where this migratory herding practices takes place. And in this region, you can see that these yaks are actually taken to higher elevations. And this is how the different different seasons the grazing takes place. There are sheep, there are yak, and then other cattle. Then in the lower elevations, as we go, there are some land for cultivation, but not in the higher elevations, because in the higher elevations, people actually depend so much on the cattle. So this is our result. Yak as a source of community livelihoods. They have to, in the Highland communities, their main source is yak, the product. So this yak actually, going to the national park and going to the lower elevations and actually affecting the national park. So question of whether to restrict these people, this yak going to the national park. And then these are also coming to the lower elevations to the other people. So should we actually restrict? So it's a question of livelihood and then the use of forest. And then forest is also used for timber, other than the fodder, and little for crop farming. And then in a broad theoretical framework, we asked people, what about the socio-ecological production landscapes? What do you think? And then people said that, okay, they said ecosystem protection is very important, agricultural biodiversity is important, very important, in fact, and knowledge is actually important. We need to know about which breed, which seed can grow. And then infrastructure is very, very important. And people, it seems people are aware. But then the question is, how do we actually balance this need and then the policy of conservation? I think that needs to be looked into critically. So based on this, we concluded that watershed is a complex mosaic of land use, and it has several architecture. And it doesn't, help when you use one kind of formula from one region to another. As Abid Hussain also said, that in mountain contexts, different policies need to be implemented. And there are conflicts in case of this complex management issues. We need to actually understand the root cause of the issues. And these people who are working for the local communities, these local extension officials are very important. Community-based organizations are important, and they need to play an important role. And then the local government also plays important. And then the community consultation process we found is very important, and that should be actually given priority, first priority for making any decisions in the mountain areas. And then women empowerment is necessary because they can also help use the resources sustainably. And some of these challenges are in the low literacy rate, human-wildlife conflict, and there's so much of pressure for income on natural resources. And then at the same time, how do we actually preserve this local culture and environment? That's a big question that we could not actually come up with any answer to this question. So I think I used all my time, so I'll stop there. Thank you very much.
Thank you.